So we can talk about just the kind of the origins and like kind of go through this. Not like go over every single thing, but I feel like there's good moments and productions to talk about. Like so, you and I met on the bus in middle school, and at some point, me making videos came up in conversation, and I at the time I didn't put anything on the internet. I just was making these direct to DVD shows for me and maybe my tight little circle.
Sure, because this would have been like 2007 or 8. So I mean, YouTube was around, but it wasn't like we need to put this on YouTube and make views.
It was 2006.
Really, for sure. When you start, it was 2006 or 7 when I got involved, and you had been at it a while before me. So, but I want to preface all of it by saying, like, especially to the people who know you, like now through the comedy scene, through your music, and even people have been asking you too, like, where did this come from? Where's your origin? I feel like I'm the secret origin, like the key, like the tone master, if that makes sense. It's like, because even when I watched this podcast, I could be on here for many episodes giving everyone the secret origin of Cameron Smith. What he was waiting to unleash on the Wilmington comedy scene and what he was like, how this came to be, like the prequel movie or whatever. But but you didn't strike me as off at all. Like you rode the bus with me because you lived a house away or like a street away, I think. And you minded your own business just like us. We were just being kids, and there were a lot older kids too. So when we're in 6th, 7th grade, it's high schoolers run it, And then just one day you let your personality slip a little bit where like you just did a goofy voice out of nowhere. And that's what made me like pay attention to you a little more. I was like, oh, okay, he's silly too. He's not the quiet look out the window kid. And then I think it's, somehow Making Movies came up and you said, well, I have a bunch of DVDs and I'll go home and watch them. And then just saw what you had been up to for the past like year, maybe 2 years or something. And I was like, that's fun. You're like, well, you can come over and make videos with me. And just as it is now, like, this is a funny idea. Let's do that. Let's film it. Let's do South Park voices or Family Guy voices for 19 minutes and up and call it a video and say we did good. But it transformed, absolutely, through the rest of middle school to high school to now to you outgrowing me and moving on.
So I gave Kenny at the time, like I said, I was only making these direct to DVD things. It was called the Muchachas Hunter. I talked about it a little bit with Wills, but I think I made 30 episodes on direct, and I had only probably made like maybe 15 by the time I gave. So, and I've never let anyone borrow. I only had one copy of these DVDs, and they were in like a CD holder.
Right, and the DVDs had just Sharpie written on what the episode was called. It was real, basic.
So I lent him the case. I never lent anyone the case before. And did you watch? I
watched every single one of them. I bombed through all of them. I probably saw some of them multiple times. Like a kid rewatches stuff, and I was like, and I started hanging out with you at that point. So I probably watched them all and then started hanging out with you more, and then through contacts was like, let me go back and watch that old one again. And I know we took it real seriously, like, well, let's reference the thing we did in the other video, let's make it our ongoing thing. And that was just the seeds of that.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know. I didn't have anything to say there.
It's okay. Well, I will just say, like, just compared to, right, I was there at the beginning when there was just the DVDs, and even more strict than that. It was like a Handycam camcorder. You could probably speak to the brand and all more than me, but it was like, I'm going to film it. Every scene has to be in order. I can't go out of that. We're 11 or 12. There's no editing involved of any kind.
That's an important point to think of. So, there was no editing for these years. And so in shooting it on these little DVD-R Handycams, the take would start when we would hit record and it would stop when we hit record again.
There was no cut that out.
Right.
That's in there.
The best we could do is we could only delete the last take we did. We could start over. Yeah. Like we do a take, oh, that one's not good. Right. Or delete that and we'll just do it again. But I don't think we could go back.
No, we couldn't. And the way I found that out was because I just, being silly, recorded something for you to see. And then when you found out, got a little chaffed at it. You're like, I can only delete the last thing recorded. And I obviously am going to delete that stupid shit you filmed. So whatever we have before that has to stay in. So we have to make that work now, and that was kind of an early formative way of making videos, of being like, like, this is our house and this is what we're going to build it with these pieces. You know what I mean? If we mess something up, that's how it goes. That's what we're in, Yeah,
it's a very meticulous process.
Right. But it was fun though. I don't know, like, when to throw certain points out, but even like going to the doctor as a kid or meeting a teacher, it's like, what do you do? It's like, I make videos with my friends. Like, what do you do in your free time? Like, play sports? You do this? I was like, no, just make videos with my friends. And it always got a big reaction. Like, that's great. That's very interesting. That's great. That's creative, Now, I don't recommend showing any of them to anyone.
I feel like now it's not really that crazy of a thing. Most people do that.
I feel like hearing the thing about only deleting the last thing is wild, like especially like because again we're not that much older than like in the grand scheme of things, you know, and like your 20s isn't very old, but to see like, man, it would be so great 10 years ago even to have some of the stuff that was now, you know, like.
Yeah.
But I guess like the difference is if it was like it was when we were kids, then it wouldn't have been nearly as cool or interesting to anyone else. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, everybody makes a dumb video. Everybody makes sketches, you know, it's saturated, but
absolutely.